Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. I thought I was going to make my first video from the ship, but I'm not. We are in a hotel in Puerto Rico. We are in San Juan, and there has been a royal story that has come to my attention that I think you all need to know about and that I want to discuss. So this is the inside story so far of what we know about the late Queen's final farewell. So I'm reading from an article and we'll stop and discuss it as we go. So, how Her Majesty wouldn't have been aware of anything when she painlessly slipped away as contents of a never before seen memo of her last moments are revealed. So, Sir Edward Young recorded in a memo that the Queen's death was very peaceful. Queen Elizabeth's last moments were recorded by her most senior member of staff in an extraordinary and deeply moving memo which can be revealed for the first time today. So this is the first proper account, actual account, evidence if you like, of the final moments of Her late Majesty's passing. Now I've spoken about this previously, of course, that we will get a lot more details when it comes to historians writing, for example, the Queen's final sort of biography, if you like. So this sort of information will be used as kind of source evidence to construct that biography eventually when it is commissioned. We don't know who or when that will actually be. So Sir Edward Young, her devoted private secretary, who was at Balmoral when Her late Majesty died on September the 8th, 2022. Coincidentally, I was also on holiday at that time. I was actually in Key West when we got the news that the Queen passed away. So this is, this is not second-hand evidence. This is first-hand account of what happened. So he noted that she passed away very peacefully in her sleep, slipped away old age. That's what the note said. Very peaceful, in her sleep, slipped away old age. She wouldn't have been aware of anything, no pain. So the existence of the historic document now has been lodged in the Royal Archives, has not been made public until now. And I would imagine that things will come to light as time passes, and certainly by the time of the proper biography we will know a lot more. So it forms part of a remarkable insider account of the late monarch's bravery, diligence and devotion to duty in her last hours, contained in a fascinating new biography of the King. So not of the Queen, but there is a kind of a biography so far of the King's life up till now. So as Prince of Wales, and of course now as the new monarch, King Charles III. It's called New King, New Court, The Inside Story by Robert Hardman. The book is being exclusively serialised over 4 days from tomorrow, so there will be lots more details coming out. The biography also reveals how shortly after Edward wrote his note, a footman, now I found this really fascinating, brought a locked red box of paperwork found at the late Queen's deathbed. So we suspected for a very long time that Her late Majesty was doing all of her work, all of her duty, all of her red boxes, the official paperwork of state, right up until the moment that she passed away. She was dutiful, she was diligent to the end. A true lifetime of service and duty. So some people up there in Snake Mountain could do with taking note of what actual a lifetime of service and duty means. Never mind buying your own aviation awards, we'll get onto that a little bit later as well in this video. So when the box was opened, staff discovered 2 sealed letters. Oh my god, I would love to know what was in those letters. One to her son and heir, now King Charles III, and the other to Sir Edward himself. We do not know what was in those letters. So while their contents are unlikely ever to be made public, well, I'm not entirely sure that's true, because I think that to form part of a realistic biography, you need kind of this information. So I would tentatively say that we aren't going to know yet, but I would imagine that it's quite important for a biography to be written that is accurate, to almost kind of know at least the very gist of what was in. We don't need to know the full word for word content, although that would be very interesting and very fascinating. But I think as long as the gist is known, then the biographer, whoever that is, can construct something that is as accurate as it is going to be. So, it says that the letters show that Elizabeth, who of course was 96 at the time, quietly recognised her time on this earth was at an end. So, this has been a point of conversation and topic that I've had on this channel. I know lots of other royal commentators, whether they be on the internet or ones that are paid for TV or for newspapers, have kind of speculated upon how long the royal family knew that the Queen had left. I suspected that it came on quite sudden, and that it wasn't something that they knew was going to be imminently in those days. But it does show that the Queen, her late Majesty, had something prepared for that eventuality, and that, of course, she probably recognised herself that her time was coming swiftly to an end. So the box also contained her final piece of paperwork, proof that she was working right up until her last moments, and last royal order, which was her choice of candidates for the prestigious Order of Merit for exceptionally meritorious service across the Commonwealth. So this is a real award for service and duty, none of this aviation award nonsense. So even on her deathbed, there had been work to do, and she had done it. So yes, she had an unparalleled devotion to service and duty and country. Other astonishing revelations also reveal that despite fears for her health, the late Queen's death was so sudden that Charles had to undertake a last-minute dash to Balmoral by helicopter. So we saw that in motion. We've seen the photographs. He was boarding. He did not know that it was going to happen at that time that it did. So he was reading his London Bridge. Now, London Bridge, of course, was the code name for when the Queen passed away. So he was reading his London Bridge notes on the way. Staff didn't even have time to get his car ready to greet him. The King and Queen spent an hour with Her late Majesty privately before she died, so he did get there in time. Princess Anne, the Queen's senior dresser Angela Kelly, alternated at her bedside, along with Reverend Kenneth Mackenzie, a long-serving minister at nearby Craffy Kirk, who read to her from the Bible. So Angela Kelly, the dresser, was there by the Queen's bedside, of course, very, very trusted aide. And as we know, Princess Anne was there all the way through. Interestingly, this is confirmation, Charles called both of his sons personally, urging them to travel up to Scotland as soon as possible in order to say their goodbyes. At that point, he believed the Queen still had days, not hours, to live. So that's a really strong indication that they didn't think that it was imminent, as in, the last final hours, but that she had days. So all of that kind of, Prince Harry scrambling to get to Scotland, it would have been practical to have tried to have got there as quickly as possible. So Charles, who had gone out to gather mushrooms and clear his head after seeing his mother, that's after spending that hour with the Queen, received the news that she had died as he was driving back to Balmoral. Now this is, quite poignant, I think. So it happened this way. When his most senior aide took a call, Charles pulled over, because he was driving, and was addressed for the first time as Your Majesty. So at that moment, he would have known that his mother had passed and that he was now king. Just imagine that extraordinarily poignant moment. Before calmly putting the car into gear and driving on. Imagine driving when not only had you found out that your mother had passed away, but also that you were king. Yes, and head of the Commonwealth as well. When Charles called William via the palace switchboard to break the news to him, he was forced to tell the operator simply, "It's me." And you can imagine him saying, "It's me," in Charles's voice, as he suddenly realised he couldn't reveal that he was king yet. Charles has a very distinctive voice, doesn't he? I imagine if you took a call and Charles said, "It's me," you would know exactly who it was. The king did try repeatedly to call his younger son to break the news to him personally, but Harry was already in the air and could not get through. So none of this, Harry putting out that the family didn't try to contact him, blah, blah, blah. They did. They absolutely did. So there we go. The book that's coming out has unrivaled access to the royal family, their close friends, staff, past and present, top politicians, and previously unseen papers in the royal archives. So this will be used as source information for Her Late Majesty's, I would imagine, her final biography. It also describes the vital role played by Queen Camilla, the King's relationships with Prince William and Prince Harry, his plans for reforming the monarchy, and his evolving position on the world stage. This is going to be a very important book because it will set out the King's, I suppose, his intentions for monarchy going forwards. We've all had time to speculate on what he means, on what he intends, but this I think will pretty much set out how he's going to be monarch and how that next sort of 20-25 years is going to kind of pan out, and the sort of monarchy that he will leave behind when William eventually ascends or accedes to the throne. So very, very, very important. Okay, so my next story, Prince Harry, the Aviation Awards. Oh my goodness, I nearly fell out of the air. No, I heard this story before we actually flew, and I was absolutely shocked. Not that he'd been, picked for an award. It's happened before that he's been chosen for awards by friends or, people in places, people that he knows. But this, people have actually said, is this an actual joke? There has been outrage as Prince Harry is to be named a legend of aviation alongside moon heroes Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin at a glitzy, of course it was glitzy, Beverly Hills ceremony after flying a helicopter in Afghanistan. So we don't want to knock any serving personnel's work, no matter what country you are serving for. If you have given, I suppose your life to fight for whatever country you belong to, then that is noteworthy indeed. But you would think that to get even, to receive an aviation award, a legend of aviation, I might add, that you would have to have done something exceptional, or, above and beyond just sort of regularly serving. Not that there's anything wrong with regularly serving, of course. Now, Harry, although was good at what he did in the army, he was not sort of legendary or anything of that nature. There was nothing particularly noteworthy about what he did, other than the fact that he was a prince. So why he would be chosen for this award is a bit of a mystery. But then the mystery unravels because if you actually look on the Wikipedia page, it's actually a paid for. It says it's a paid for award. So what we don't know, of course, is whether or not paid for means that you pay them to give you the award, i.e. you donate and then you are given the award, as long as you have kind of a loose, tenuous connection to the aviation field, or whether it means simply that you purchase the cost of the actual award. Now, I'm not entirely certain, but I think a lot of people are going with that you donate money to the charity and therefore you are nominated for an award, or not even nominated, that you buy the award as long as you have some sort of even tenuous link to it. So Prince Harry is to be inducted alongside Apollo 11 hero Buzz Aldrin as a living legend of aviation at a glitzy Beverly Hills ceremony hosted, of course, by John Travolta. The Duke of Sussex has been recognised ahead of the likes of Charles Duke, who became the youngest person to walk on the moon in 1972 when he was aged 36. The decorated event will be hosted by John Travolta and has been previously been dubbed by actor Morgan Freeman as the Oscars of Aviation. It is understood that his work with setting up the Invictus Games Foundation will also be celebrated according to the awards. It is not clear whether Harry or his wife Meghan, will attend the ceremony. She might have a prior engagement. She might be working a double shift at McDonald's. Harry being named on the list of inductees has raised eyebrows. Well, I would try and raise one if I could. With some confused and questioning why he was included, as should be. One person wrote on what was formerly Twitter X, "I look forward to every other military pilot in the world being given the same award based on his accomplishments in that field." I mean, you know, he worked on the guns, my loves. Another added, "Is this a joke? What is the legendary stuff that he has done? I am asking seriously, what the heck has he done?" Fans of the Sussexes rallied around the prince. Well, of course they did. Of course they did. And sent their congratulations to Soldier Harry, who completed 2 tours in Afghanistan. The event was set up in 2003 to honour those who make significant contributions to aviation and aerospace. And let's not forget, actually, that Prince William, I would say, in terms of aviation, made, you know, probably a bigger impact. He was saving lives. He wasn't, you know, directly. I mean, Harry even confessed to how many people he'd taken out, his kill count, if you like. Prince William dutifully actually flew the helicopter and saved people from, from whatever predicament they had been stuck in. He was a search and air rescue ambulance pilot. Where's his award in all of this? People still living are recorded on the list and replace past inductees who have died, such as Neil Armstrong. The Duke completed 2 tours of Afghanistan as a forward air controller and an Apache helicopter pilot, having flown countless training missions in the UK, US and Australia. Not knocking his work, but is it legendary? He served for 10 years in the military, rising to the rank of captain. Harry will take his place alongside others, as I've just mentioned. So the event's website also praised the Duke for his work with Travelist, Centre Barley, African Parks, Well Child and the Invictus Games. A statement on the event's website said Prince Harry is a humanitarian, military veteran, mental wellness advocate and environmentalist. Yes, but he's bought the award. He has dedicated his life to advancing. Well, he hasn't dedicated his life. We've already seen from Her Late Majesty that is a life of service and duty. The event's website also highlights Harry's efforts as a humanitarian, mental wellness advocate and environmentalist, touching on his work with Travelist, blah blah blah, and of course the Archwell Foundation. It also praised the Duke's compassion, vulnerability and unflinching honesty in his memoir Spare. Oh my goodness gracious me. Compassion. Well, where's the compassion for his family? Vulnerability. Well, he didn't look very vulnerable when he was attacking them in Spare. An unflinching honesty that's been found to be a pack and web of lies. Really? And that's getting an award. Early last year, Harry said his military career saved him after the tragic death of his mother. Well, I agree that would have given him a level of stability that the army, being in the armed forces, does actually give you. So I'm not knocking that. The Duke served in the army for a decade in total, blah, blah, blah. During the second tour of Afghanistan, he spent 4 months as an Apache pilot, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, buying an award just looks absolutely desperate. It is terrible PR. He is being mercilessly mocked for this. Not only has he had a disastrous 2023, but it looks like if this is how he's kicking off 2024, it's not going to be any better. An award that you buy or that you influence yourself getting is never going to be a good look for anyone. He needs to distance himself from this and backtrack and backpedal as fast as he can. But the damage has already been done. People can see exactly what he's trying to do. It's not working, it doesn't look good, it's not clever, it's not big, and it's just pathetic, to be quite honest. You don't want to be buying your own award. That's just terrible. And bringing other things in that aren't even to do with aviation, like Centre Barley, is just ridiculous as well. He's bought the award, he's trying to buy attention, he's trying to rebuild his public persona, his public image by doing it this way. Is this the right way to do it? I don't think so. Anyway, I'm sure all of you are going to let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below, but I just think this is complete ridiculousness at its best. So, I'm going to end this video here. The next time you will see me will be when I'm on the ship. So I wasn't expecting all this sort of royal news to come out before I boarded the ship. So thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and of course do hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. The next video you see, there will be a balcony and we will be in some gorgeous Caribbean location. So until then, mwah to you all and goodbye.